UNPAVED, Sean Salisbury here. We're bringing authentic, real stuff to you. Hardcore opinion.
Sean Salisbury, a great NFL analyst, a former NFL quarterback.
To me, Tom Brady is the GOAT because he's done more with less than any player at that position we've ever had. All right, guys, welcome into UNPAVED. I'm Sean. Let's bring in my partner, Adam Sager, Adam G. Sager on Twitter. I'm at X, I guess we're calling it. I still call it Twitter, but just like I still call stadiums Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum. I'm Sean at Sean Unfiltered on Twitter. Sags, welcome in. Good to talk. We got a lot to talk about. At a time, this NBA, obviously, hockey playoffs, baseball, Judge and Trout went back and forth. It was epic watching those two guys pump balls into the left field seats. We got recruiting talk. We also have a ton of, some health talk and off limits talk, or is it? And GOAT talk, Segs, and we'll get to all that as we roll through this episode of UNPAVED. About a year in, but not a year with this full team. We're only about 5-6 months in, so we're rolling, and it's great to have you guys with us. Segs, I know you got a lot, and it starts with, wouldn't it be nice to be able to come out and say, and I couldn't agree more with Coach John Sumrall, who went from Tulane to Florida as the new head coach, to say, and I know you got his quote, it's real easy to recruit at Florida. How about it?
Yeah, it's something that he's realizing with this move, how easy it is. But let's hear from Coach John Sumrall exactly what he has to say, and then we'll come out and react to it.
We can get anybody to come visit the University of Florida if we want, America, if we do a good job. This is not a really hard place to recruit to. We're the 5th-ranked public school in the United States of America academically right now. All right? Like, you come outside today and it's beautiful. And you come to the stadium and, like, you know the history and pageantry of what it feels like to play in this place. And then you know the stadium renovations that are coming. And you know the fan base is hungry for a winner. And I think the guys that have come here to visit, most of them have come back. At some point, whether they've chosen us or not, I think they feel the energy's real and there's authentic relationships and they're going to get coached every day and we're not going to change. Like I tell recruits all the time, if you like us now, you're going to love us later. If you don't like me now, go somewhere else because I'm not changing. But like what you see is what you get. And if you want to improve on your craft every day, man, it's going to be a blast. If you're tough and you love football, it's going to be a blast. If you're soft and you like football, don't come here.
I think it's pretty easy to say that, it's when you're at Florida, yeah, it's easy to recruit. It's easy to get the guys here. It's easy. And maybe he saved himself a little bit there at the end. But, man, if you're going to say this early, you better follow through with some winning because at the University of Florida, they expect to win year in, year out. And if you're going to come out and basically say it's easy to recruit here with everything we have, you better be out there recruiting some of the best players in the country, and you better be winning football games in the SEC come the fall, starting right away, not in year 2, not in year 3. These fans expect you to turn it around now. So if you're going to you better put your money where your mouth is if you're John Sumrall right here.
I want to sit out on a patio, have a beer, and talk football and life with this cat. I think John Sumrall is awesome. He's 100% correct. And I don't think he painted himself into any corner. He didn't say we're going to win 10 games, we're going to win a national championship. He said it's an easy place to recruit, and it is. And the energy, I felt the energy as an opponent. I was on the receiving end my first start of my college career. We were ranked as well. We had a great roster. We went in there. It was about 115 degrees on the turf field in the swamp. And I'll never forget, there was a sign there that said, I was the quarterback and Wayne Peace was the quarterback as well, the former University of Florida quarterback, Wayne Peace. And it said, the Trojans can't hold Wayne's peace. And I saw that before the game, but it kind of made me a little bit relaxed. Right. As we went into that game, it was turf, and we wear black cleats at USC.
Yes. And
I'm telling you during warmups, you could feel the friction. You literally, when the game was over, I had blisters on the bottom of my feet from, cutting and moving. And I had to cut and move a lot that day, and we had a great offensive line. Not good, great. The single best performance I've ever witnessed from my living room, and maybe this is NFL, college. I know college, and I played with great players at SC. But this may be a little hyperbolic to some, but I'm just going to say it with my eyes. I'm trying to recall a game that I watched either in person, played in, stood on the sidelines for, or broadcast, that I saw a better performance in my life than the performance your guy in Chicago, Wilbur Marshall, put on that day. And we had a chance to go back down and put ourselves in position to win the final drive, clock run out. We didn't. Wilbur Marshall's performance, and anybody goes, I get reminded by University of Florida people all the time. And as my first start, I can remember after the game sitting outside the locker room dejected. My parents had made the flight across the country, and they were standing there, and Coach Robinson sat down next to me. John Robbins put his arm around me. He said, he looked at my parents, looked at me, he goes, you're going to be just fine. That's all he said. Put his arm, boom. I played decent. I don't even know what the numbers were, but just fine because he watched Wilbur Marshall, and we had 2 first-rounders on that offensive line that day. Segs, he ran down, and I think he had 20-plus tackles. He had 4.5 or 5 sacks. It was the greatest disruption of a foot, and it was my first game, so I thought, is this what I got to deal with? Yeah. We'll watch it happen on the practice field at SC with our players. Right. But in real time, when they're not hitting you, I'm telling you, to this day, I've never seen a better performance, and I can raise my hand because I was the one on the abusive end of it. Some of my fault. It doesn't matter whose fault it was. It wouldn't have mattered if we had 8 offensive linemen and I was Tom Brady that day. He was, or somebody who could move around. It was the greatest disruption of a football game I've ever seen, and the energy was through the roof. And the only reason I say that is I got to witness a little bit as a guy what John Sumrall was talking about and Wilbur Marshall. If you ever get a chance to go back and watch that game somewhere, watch. It was abusive. Matter of fact, he should have been arrested for what he did that day. But it carved me out to say, this is with SC Florida big boy football, even though I knew it was when I got recruited, and I'd watched our dominant team as a freshman play, but it was my first start as a sophomore. I learned a lot about it. He's right. Sun, academics, fun, crowds crazy. You're expected to win. John Sumrall didn't say anything that I don't agree with. You should be able to recruit. If you want to come there to be average or soft, get your ass out. If you want to come to be good, and what I do love, he says, I'm not changing. They'll adjust, but he's not changing from a mentality. And if you cross the line back and forth and waffle, University of Florida will be what it's been recently. Yeah. Win some, lose some, fire a coach. He's not going to do it. To me, going in, and see, some guys are hyperbolic or chatter and bullshit and talk. John Sumrall, I deeply believe in his soul. He believes this. And I agree with him on the recruiting. I think going in, I'm not sure the last time, maybe Urban Meyer, and there's been some good coaches since him. I can't remember a time, and I'm not a Florida guy, that I'm going into this thinking, you better show up to Florida and be ready to go. But he's right. There's so many great, like we talk about at Southern Cal, you put a fence around it if you can, but you got Florida State, Miami. It's competitive. That's saying something. Not to disrespect UCLA, but I would imagine the football between Miami, Florida, and Florida State is a little better than SC and UCLA as an overall combination. But we all got the same recruits. And when he says this, it feels like he's saying, you get one guy, I'll get another. But if you want to come here and compete, have a chance. I don't think he painted himself into a corner at all. I think he's right. And he had to recruit hard and win at Tulane. And I think he'll coach harder to prove his point, even though he coached hard. And I don't think Sumrall chooses, in my opinion. That's what I think separates him. I think if he was coaching high school, he'd be saying the same things about his high school team as he would about the college team. Love the guy. And I think that the state of Florida better be on watch and guard the competition around the country. It may take a day or two or a year or two. I think John Sumrall will win soon and urgently, Sigs. I love him, and he's 100% correct. If you can't recruit at Florida and get great players and then develop them as he insinuated about developing and make them even better, they'll love playing there. I think that then you shouldn't go, and you're choosing the wrong guy to play for. And if they don't win in the next 3 years, then they will look for somebody else. But I think you got a real good chance because I think he understands how to separate the average ones or the tough guys who want to come and play. And there's a talented state of players there that there's plenty to go around. If I was a recruit, I would, back in my high, listening to that guy talk, I would take a visit to the University of Florida, period. And I love it. Good on him, and he's right.
Yeah, and it's time for Florida to get back to the Urban Meyer days, you know, the days where we expected the Florida Gators to be in the top 10 at the start of every season. We expected them to be fighting, you know, not only for the 4-team playoff, they definitely should be fighting for the 12. If we get to 16, they should be in every single year. That's the type.
They should be in with 12, Sakes. They should be in with 12 with their recruiting base and what they're doing. That part, and I don't think he'd preach it. If they're not in the playoff every year, it's a failure. I don't care. First year, it's a failure for them. They're better than that. They should be a national powerhouse every year. Absolutely.
Well, another national powerhouse is Coach Ryan Day of Ohio State. He made some waves with a comment that he said recently. Here's what Ryan Day had to say about what they expect from their Ohio State freshman's mentality.
At all positions. I mean, you think about this year alone. I mean, a lot of people talk about the wide receiver position, but look at, you get Sonny Styles, you have Arvell Reese, you have Caleb Downs, Caden McDonald. All these guys are going to be possible top 15 picks. They're all juniors. But I think it's just across the board at Ohio State. There's an expectation when you come here, you're coming to be a first or second rounder, regardless of your position. That's it. Just like, if we don't win games and championships, they're going to find a new coach. Well, if you're not a first or second rounder, then this probably isn't the right place for you. And that's just the reality of it. And so understanding that on the front end, and that means there's a lot of places you can go. Maybe Ohio State's not it, but there's just a certain, like when you walk into that room and there's some guys already, who are freshmen who have that mentality that we're seeing even during spring practice. Now they got a long way to go. It doesn't happen overnight, but having that mentality, I think, is important.
You agree?
Yeah, I mean,
You're
I
a
think
Michigan
that's
guy. And Lisa and I'm asking you first because that's your competitor. That's your right.
I definitely think that's the mentality that every high-level recruit going to a school like Ohio State, Alabama, Michigan, USC, LSU, that's the exact, that they should all have, that I'm coming here to be a first or second round pick. I'm not coming to Alabama to just, play some football and grab a degree along the way. And, we'll see what happens after. No, you're coming to these schools because you think you're one of the best players in the country, and you expect to be a first or second round pick 3 to 4, maybe 5 years later. Real quick, one former Ohio State player commented on this video on Twitter, Draymond Jones, who's a very good defensive tackle in the NFL. He responded with, "Damn, coach, that's some tough ass standards." Laugh out loud. But shout out to all of us 3rd through 8th round Buckeyes that made it far in the league, though. I'm proud of us too. So I don't know, kind of a little bit of like, hey, don't forget about us too, but also kind of making a joke of it as well. So, but I completely understand where Ryan Day's coming from here.
Yeah. When's the last time we laughed or rolled our eyes at Ohio State as a team? It's been a minute, hasn't it? I mean, Now they win 10 games and Ryan Day and lose to you guys at Michigan.
Yeah. Ryan
Day has been talked about being fired up until these last couple of years, every single year.
Yeah.
Those are high standards for the coach too.
Yes.
And as a 3rd to 8th round pick, I don't think Ryan Day is saying our 3rd to 8th rounders can't play. I think that even sends a bigger message, meaning the competition's so tough, you could be a damn good player, maybe more action and get more first round looks somewhere else. When you're here, dude, you better be a football playing Jesse. So I don't think he's saying, if you go 3rd, 8th round, you weren't a good player. I think it's the mentality coming out of school as a freshman. You better know, Segs, when I went to SC and we had the same standards there as well.
Yep.
As I've said this before to you, when John Robinson sat down in my living room for a final visit before I made a decision on where I was going, and he said, "Listen, Sean, we're going to create an environment for you to be successful. You're our number one choice. But if you don't come here, we are still showing up on Saturdays and we are still going to win. Now, and not arrogant or pat on the back, but that's talking to a guy that was the #1 recruit in the country that they expected big things for. And I expected to be the first pick of the draft when I left school.
Right.
That was my mentality. And all he did was validate it. But when you're 17 years old at the time, which I was, you're like, how dare him? Everybody's telling you how great you are. He walked out and left with Paul Hackett and they drove away. And I've said this before, and I've said it on this show a year ago, is I looked at my dad, my pops looked at me and said, it looks like something you want to be a part of. My eyes got big, and at 17, you're like, wow, he was able to walk. How dare them think they can win without me? And they would have, and they did. When I was hurt, they found a way to still win. So that mentality is important because, listen, you can't be Ohio State if you're recruiting a guy who's going to go to Bowling Green. I'm sorry, you just can't. That doesn't mean the Bowling Green guy's not good for what he's doing and won't be a first-round pick 4 years later. So what it is the competition and expectations. So you hear it both. Florida's got a longer way to go than Ohio State does. But there was a time that Florida, John Sumrall, or when Spurrier or Urban Meyer were there, same conversations were being had. If you ain't coming here to be a first-round pick, get to stepping, brother. Wrong place. So that doesn't mean that, hey, some guys go there as a first rounder, get hurt, get backed up, and you're a backup wide receiver, you don't see the field, play one season, they draft you in the 3rd round, and you're not going to be a good pro. Development is part of it. So I think that's the culture you have to create because the fans expect it. The NIL people now expect it. The national media expect it. But more importantly, the outside noise. It's what we expect when we walk in. If I tell a guy when he walks in, said, man, think about mid-round draft pick, brother, he should turn around and walk out and leave, go somewhere else right now. Because I do believe there are some schools that have that. Oh, we'll take it. We'll develop it. Let's face facts. There's a box that certain players fit in. And Ohio State's only recruiting guys that fit in that box.
Yeah.
Now, there may be a guy that comes in that's kind of dangling outside the box, but you think we got a scholarship available. He's got potential. And then they develop him and he turns into be a first. Not all those cats that came there that are first-round picks were the best player in the country. And that's important as a coaching staff. So I love it. I think those mentalities, and this isn't the place for you. We only got so many scholarships available a year, Sage. It's not the place for you. And if you do go somewhere else, maybe you'll figure out 2 years in with this transfer portal that it's best I go back to Ohio State. Now I've developed and I come back there because I am going to be a first-round pick. So
right.
I just, both of these coaches, for different reasons at these universities, are setting standards that my Trojans, I hope, are setting and have set in the past, at your Michigan Wolverines, at LSU, and that those, because like anything else, if your sales staff sets a goal low, no, you'll reach the low goal. If your sales staff sets a high goal, then they have expectations to reach the high goal so they can all get commission. So I love this mentality and the way they're going about their business at both of these schools. Ryan Day's got the ring. John Sumrall wants the ring.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be, it's got to be this mindset for a lot more schools. And I think then we get more schools coming in. And yeah, does it take a lot of work to get to that standard of Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, LSU, all those teams? Yeah. And it's hard to stay there, but these teams have figured out ways and they've won games along the way, which then allow them to get more NIL, which then allow them to pay the better players more money now in this era of college football. It's something that you have to continue to grow and find the right guy that fits your school and can go out there and shop your school around and get the best players.
Segs, you said a ton of great things there. The thing that sticks out to me the most is to stay there.
Yes.
One season, one hit, want to go. Oh, then you disappear and you're no longer there. As good as the schools like Ole Miss have been when Lane was there, and hopefully as they move forward with Pete and you start to go around to schools, it's hard to sustain it. Florida's finding that out. John knows that. He's trying to get back to that, but it's an easy place to recruit because you're the University of Florida. There's still a standard and a history there. At Ohio State or any other place is staying there, man. My Trojans went through it where they weren't staying there.
Mm-hmm.
Your Wolverines went through it for a minute as well.
Yep.
It is a hard standard to live up to. And if we went through the 3 schools in the country over the last decade that stayed there, the guy in that screen right there, Ryan Day, like him or not, or if you're a Michigan fan, you have to understand they've sustained. Anybody can have a day of greatness or a year of greatness. Can you have a sustained greatness? And if you're recruiting guys that aren't part of that or don't have that mentality, you cannot sustain. I think when schools have fallen off at SC, at Michigan, and sometimes at Ohio State in the very past, or at Florida going through it now, you know what I think, Segs? I do think there was a level of standard that maybe, just maybe, they didn't have those expectations and didn't recruit the guys they needed to, and it didn't fit the culture. And guess what? They weren't developed, and then you get another coach. So hard, very, very hard to do. Sustained greatness is one of the things at Ohio State. There's not 3 schools in the country over the last, I don't know, 10 to 15 years that if you said sustained greatness, Ohio State's at the top of that list. And I know people at times don't like Ryan Day because there's an arrogance about him. But you know what? You do have to validate that the guy can coach and he gets good. I've seen 5 stars. There was a time, Segs, real quick, at University of Texas when Mac Brown left. They'd get every 5-star cat in the country, or at least in the state of Texas and surrounding areas. They'd go there and they came out 3 stars. They went the other way. Mac left, and there was a level of expectation that dipped. Maybe not from boosters or alumni, but their performance didn't show it. And there was a time there when University of Texas guys just weren't getting drafted high. And this is University of Texas. So they even dipped. So you can dislike or like anybody you want, but you have to credit where people are able to maintain a level of standard in any sport or business. That dude's been doing it at Ohio State. And if you don't expect it, best you decide to play somewhere else. It's a great, and it is high level of expectation. And you're just a guy when you go there. There's 24 other cats just like you that are freshmen. Yeah. 20 other cats. So I like that. I like being that competitive and having to play up. And that's what you do at places like that.
Right. So we don't talk a lot of basketball on the show, specifically NBA. I couldn't tell you who the number 1 seeds are right now because that's how
Oklahoma
far
City
away from the end. Yeah, I guess I could have guessed.
But I get you. I know what you're saying.
That's just how far away from the NBA I've fallen because it's not a good product that I like watching. And I've been coaching basketball the last 3 years. I may be coaching higher level this coming next few years, and I still can't get myself into it. College basketball, I love. I watch a shit ton of it this season.
Agreed.
And it's just one of those things. But what's the one topic that always gets brought back? And it's the LeBron James, it's the Michael Jordan, it's the GOAT debate. Well, we're getting ready for the NBA playoffs. The Lakers and Rockets will face off in the 4-5 matchup. I just had to look that up, by the way, that they're the 4 and the 5. But here's what Kendrick Perkins had to say about LeBron James taking on Kevin Durant in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Go ahead and roll it, Bailey.
Or is it KD?
It's old King James. Do you understand? Listen, Courtney, do you realize that the Lakers are one of the biggest underdogs to start the playoffs? They have a 15% chance at winning this series. And let me explain why I say it's LeBron James. No Luka Doncic, no Austin Reeves. If a 41-year-old LeBron James in the head-to-head matchup with Kevin Durant comes out and pulls off this victory and comes out victorious in this series, I don't want to hear a damn thing anymore about the GOAT conversation. The GOAT conversation will be officially over. I don't want to hear from Stephen A. I don't want to hear from my brother Mike Wilborn. I don't want to hear none of that. If a 41-year-old LeBron James comes out and lead this Laker team to a first-round victory, being a heavy underdog, I don't want to hear anything about the GOAT conversation.
Oh, please.
When you look at the roster that he has, Jake LaRavia, we're talking about Bronny, Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton against this Houston Rockets team in the head-to-head with Kevin Durant. LeBron James has everything to gain in this series at the age of 41 years old. Everything.
Okay, Segs, you mind if I jump on this real quick?
Yeah, you go ahead.
First off, at this time of the year, when you bring it, he said enough of the GOAT talk yet. That's all. That's what Kendrick Perkins always needs to. I don't know where the swinging. We constantly the LeBron James washing, the ball washing that goes on. Listen, let me back up for a second. I don't know Kendrick Perkins. He's a Beaumont, Texas guy. I imagine I'd love to sit down and have a cold one and a cigar with Kendrick. I don't have a problem personally. And I don't know a lot of times what he's ever talking about. It's just this topic always seems to come to fruition. First off, and I'm just talking about compartmentalized to this specific subject. Nobody on television overloads their ass with their mouth more than Kendrick Perkins about this topic. Usually when you revert to lists and GOAT talk, you don't have much else to say. I'm talking about on this topic. He may be great at other topics. I'm just talking about this. And KP, I'm sure you're a great dude to spend time with. But he doesn't want to hear it from his brother Mike Wilbon or from Stephen A. I don't want to hear it from him. First off, where it goes right out the window is if he's able to pull off a first round win, would you stop this shit now? Stop it. There's room for two. I'll tell you this, Kendrick Perkins, and I love Joe Montana. Brady's the GOAT, and there's not a lot of argument. Yes or no? Correct? Mahomes has got some talk. He's been on the rise. It continues to climb, get back and get healthy. Yeah, I'm going to tell you this. If Patrick Mahomes comes back and healthy and wins a first-round playoff game next year, enough of the GOAT talk. He's better than Brady. Stop this. Joe Montana is closer to Tom Brady, and Brady is the GOAT, than LeBron James is to Michael Jordan. Now, when you say, there's some who think Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant's next in line. Mm-hmm. There's nothing but respect. On this show, I've said it. There's never been a bigger beast or a guy that I have more respect for who's continuing to do it and keeping his body at a high level and performs at a high level than LeBron James. Phenomenal. We can go that LeBron's better than Jordan in certain categories and Jordan's better. I'm not going to go through all the numbers, Segs, that people constantly go through points. LeBron's played longer. If you want to go the durability, great. Give it to LeBron over everybody in the history of mankind in any sport. But we go through just some examples. Jordan 6-0, 6 finals MVPs. LeBron 4-6 with 4 finals MVPs. I will remind you, at no time in Jordan's career did he have to chase down Steph, KD, Kyrie. I'm just throwing NBA names out there. Luke, ever. Not saying LeBron's bad for doing that because the rules allow it. Michael Jordan, obviously, or the Larry Bird would have never done it. You got Jordan has 5 regular season MVPs, LeBron 4. The 10 scoring titles, LeBron has 1. First team defense, 9 by Jordan, 5 by LeBron, and Jordan was the defensive player of the year the same year, and he could have won defensive player of the year every year. Yeah. My point is, at points, one's played 20 plus years, one was with the Chicago Bulls for I believe 11 saves. Yes. So you can skew them any way you want. Joe Montana, 4 Super Bowls, never lost one, 3 MVPs, I think is what he got. So we can go back and forth on this conversation. There's room for 2 in their Mount Rushmore GOAT talk. But the bottom line is that Jordan, who had Pippen, Jordan had 1 Hall of Famer. Is Rodman's not in the Hall of Fame yet, right? 1.
I'd have to look.
Right. I think I'm right. But 1 consistent guy in his roster that was a Hall of Famer. Am I correct with that? Scottie Pippen. Great player. Do I need to go through the list of... He isn't. Okay, 2. We got 2. Okay, and we know Rodman's defense and rightfully so. I can go down a list of other players if you want. Luka's going to get in, and I know the NBA Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame is a little easier to get into than some others. Yeah. Not saying it's easy, but my point is we go through this. It's okay to have the debate. I like the banter, but enough. And where he lost me right from the beginning is when you tell me a guy wins the GOAT conversation. It's okay if Kendrick Perkins believes LeBron's the GOAT. He's been washing that for a while. And it's okay if those of us who think Jordan. I'm not getting paid by either one. And I didn't play with either one, but I know what I saw. And there's a big difference. The will to cut your heart out and feed it to you belongs to LeBron. Michael and Kobe 1-2, no questions asked. LeBron's in the conversation, but there's a will to win and a refusal to lose. And there's the difference. Michael Jordan's refusal to lose is unparalleled, and Kobe was second. But I think LeBron James is the second best player in NBA history. Abdul-Jabbar, there's some other guys you could throw, Magic Johnson. But the constant GOAT talk, there's room for 2 to be talked about. But I can tell you this, one sits a little taller, and it's Michael Jordan. And the fact that you're relying on beating KD and the Houston Rockets, who haven't been to an NBA Finals in a minute, that if you win the first round matchup with them, that this eliminates all the GOAT talk. Stop it. Take a few days off and gather yourself and find something else to talk about. If LeBron's team beats Houston, it'll be more Houston got their ass handed to them and underachieved than it will LeBron James took over. And I can tell you this, what was his player efficiency and going through all that? LeBron's going to win on long-term numbers because he played, hell, a lot longer. And it's not a knock on LeBron. I love the guy on the court. Disagree with some of the things he says or flopping. Great player, great stud, tremendously durable, and he's got a physique that looks like he's 18 still, or that's not a grown man. It's at the prime of his life where he still looks like it. But when it comes to the two, I would ask anybody this: if your life was on the line, and you had to win a game 7. I'm talking about NBA players, NBA coach, Jerry West I'm talking about no matter who you talk to. If your life was on the line, it was take a bullet, or if you got the wrong choice, you lose. Who are you picking, Segs? Jordan or LeBron James? Your life's on the line. You take a bullet if you're wrong. Who are you taking?
It's Michael Jordan. And
it's not close when it comes to that part of it.
Yeah, and the only thing you need to know is Michael Jordan would never let it go to 7 because he never did let it go to 7.
Right.
So
that's,
and
this is, when you say this, people go, oh, you don't know about I know all about LeBron, and I think he's a hell of a, there's no doubt. You can't argue that. If you like or don't like LeBron, that's fine. Great player, great difference maker. We're not talking about Mr. Congeniality or who raised the most money off. We're not talking about that. We're simply talking about, I always judge the GOAT by, if your life's on the line in a championship moment, who do you want to have the ball?
Yeah.
LeBron's not even second in that. He's not the second one.
No.
He wouldn't finish in second, yet tremendous career and phenomenal talent. But with a life on the line, you're choosing Larry Bird and Kobe Bryant second. And maybe Steph Curry's name pops in there. Maybe even KD's at times. Yeah. And LeBron's name too. But just stop this. Stop this. Win 3 more championships on a team that doesn't have Hall of Famers, and then come see me. But it doesn't mean, listen, if Michael Jordan's gone, the debate's closer for all the other guys, LeBron and Kobe and Bird, that Magic, than it is LeBron and Magic. I mean, LeBron and Michael, period. But they constantly lean on this, and a first-round victory has 0 to do with GOAT status at 41 or 70. Bang.
Yeah.
Moving on.
It's just, it's stupidity, but I don't expect anything different from.
You do know that if Josh Allen, if Mahomes beats Josh Allen in a preseason game or the first game of the season or whatever they play again,
he's the GOAT.
That Mahomes is now past Joe Montana is 7. Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop it. Nonsense. And I mean, when you overload your mouth with your ass too many times, the second you open it, we put a butt plug in there because enough.
Yeah.
Okay, just enough.
Yeah. Friend of the show. We've had him on our show multiple times. Great guy. I mean, one of my favorites that when I'd call him before, you were going to interview him, we'd sit and talk, and I had to be like, okay, Dickie V, it's time for the interview. Like, I had to stop him from talking because he just asked so many questions. Dickie V, diagnosed with cancer again. Yeah. Yes, he does. He's, just such a great guy to talk to. Always remembered my name, remembered my wife's name. He's crazy like that. Like, he's a great guy. He says, quote, diagnosed with cancer for the 5th time. He says, quote, I'm 4 for 4. I'm fully confident I'm going to make it 5 for 5. That's just who Dickie V is, in this constant battle, with his vocal cord cancer and all that kind of stuff that he's been through in his life over this last, let's say, decade or so. He is one of the voices of my mind. When I think sports announcers, he would be on my Mount Rushmore of sports voices in my head from my lifetime. I know Dickie V from your time at ESPN and everything. Just sad to see him have to fight through another one. But like he said, we're all confident he'll make it 5 for 5.
Yeah, it's like this gets me in my feels. How many of us, we spend so much time in the media and social media bashing people, looking for things, then when we stop down, I start to think about, I'm 4 years away from the age my dad was when he died of mesothelioma from asbestos, working around asbestos his whole life. 4 years. So you do get in your feels because you start to realize your mortality. You're like, damn. And then one of the greatest people I've ever met, Dave McGinnis, Coach Matt, passed away yesterday. Where I know that it probably happens a lot. It just feels as you get older, the people close, it's happening. Now we got the negative part out of it. How many of us would stick around at his age for the battle of a fifth time? I'd like to hope most of us would, but there comes a point in time where you say, man, the exhaustion, right?
You're just beat down by it.
Yes. And you're thinking about grandkids and family. But there's a reason, aside from the good Lord standing on his shoulder or having him stand on his shoulder, Dickie V standing on the good Lord's shoulder, and he continues to carry him through it in family and faith and prayer. That there's got to be a sense of toughness that you got to get through this. He's never felt sorry for himself. He's never pouted. He's never woe is me it. And you think about Segs' impact on the game. I know there's some, Dickie V gets excited for a game. You know what? That's genuine. Yeah. This guy loves his sport and sports maybe more than anybody. John Clayton loved football and loved working about as much as anybody I'd ever met.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. I don't know if there's anybody, and I'm with you, that I listen to that could be doing that we call just a game, that loves what he does in his career and is as grateful as he is for his opportunity, and he's seized it and maximized it more than anybody in sports broadcasting or sports period. His example hits me hard because when I look at it, I think, what would I be like in that fight? God forbid I never have to face that fight. We all want to go fall asleep and die at 102 after impacting the world.
Yes.
I am fascinated, and I do believe he'll beat it. I do. We're talking about GOATs. He's 4 for 4. That's a batting average of 1,000 and going 5 for 5. And I believe he'll beat it with prayer. And I do believe there's strength in numbers. And I do believe positive attitude. All the things that you say to get through something, whatever it is, health adversity, financial adversity, he's facing the fight of his life, and he's faced it 4 times and he's still going, which tells me family. That's support from his family and significant, his wife and all the people that are there for him. But I think his positive feelings when he wakes up, I don't think Dickie V's ever woke up in the morning thinking, I got a bad life, man. I've been dealt a bad hand. And you know what the irony of this is? The very guy who probably has raised more money and attention to Jimmy Valvano in cancer for the V Foundation, not probably, without question. He is aside from basketball and family, nobody has devoted their life to making a difference against cancer, specifically with Jimmy Valvano, than him. And now the same thing that put one of his best friends, in the grave, that killed Jimmy Valvano. And Jimmy Valvano was a positive, upbeat, great guy. The same thing that killed Jimmy Valvano is the same thing that he's fought for forever, and now he has to. And I do believe that all the time he immersed himself into Jimmy Valvano and this V Foundation, and his love and energy, his love for Coach V and his love for basketball and his love for life, I believe that's a big reason why he's still alive and he broadcast college basketball within the last month, guys. Yeah. So this guy's commitment and dedication, there's nobody who's more committed, and there's nobody who loves their sport more. I listen when I hear guys talk about their sport and their energy. And I know a lot of sports lovers out there. Nobody loves broadcasting or loves basketball in life more than this guy. And I think about him whenever I'm going through it. I think, man, Sean, you coward, that if you're feeling sorry for yourself, Dickie V will make you not feel sorry for yourself. I love him, and God bless him for another round of kicking cancer's ass. And I think the good Lord sits up there and says, your fight for Jimmy Valvano and cancer against cancer and to try and end cancer is another reason why we need you fighting. And I believe he's been lifted up to do it. And I know that may sound cheesy to some, but I don't care. Good luck in this fight again, Dickie V. Not a one of us that I know isn't by you and isn't going to be pulling for you and praying for you.
Yeah.
Tremendous man.
100%. All right. Last topic here today. This one is just, it's what this guy does too. We talk about Kendrick Perkins. Jay Williams, former NBA guard, former Duke guard, is on College Game Day, but is on ESPN. He went on Twitter and talked about the Tiger Woods incident and kind of the fall off from it. He says Tiger Woods with AI is an entertainment exploitation. Add stolen PGA and CBS footage, and it becomes theft. That's a real man with real kids and a real family. Platforms need to take it down. Now, I want to say I get the whole family, kids thing, but you're a public figure. You put yourself out there playing golf. You don't give me the stolen CBS PGA footage bullshit. I don't need to hear that from Jay Williams. All this kind of AI stuff has been going on for a long time. There's been all kinds of videos for a long time of people making fun of people when they put themselves in a bad situation. And in the end, that's what Tiger Woods did. He put himself in this position with this isn't just his first time he rolled a car and got a DUI and, oh, maybe something's wrong with Tiger. No, we've had 15 plus years of Tiger Woods making stupid decision after stupid decision. And if somebody wants to make fun of Tiger Woods, go for it. And I don't need to hear about CBS and PGA footage being stolen from fucking Jay Williams. That's my rant.
Jay,
you go
listen,
ahead.
He may care a lot about Tiger Woods and has family and kids, all that. I get it. He doesn't give a fuzzy rat's ass about PGA and CBS footage being stolen. And neither do I, neither do you. CBS and PGA are plenty powerful to go deal with that on their own if they got a problem with it. Segs, do I think that we're overboard at times on criticism or just vicious at times on Twitter and social media? Of course I do. We've all felt it. We've all given it. We've all been more vicious than necessary. When I see somebody abuse dogs, I want to put up there, take a bullet, and I have, to that guy's head. When I see somebody abuse kids or kick an 80-year-old and 5 guys are there and somebody, I want to pull a bullet in all their head.
Yeah.
I know it's talk. It's not, you're not going to walk up at you. It's that hyperbolic, but it's that feeling of emotion we feel when somebody can't protect themselves. Okay, we've all done it. Save the self-righteous PGA CBS footage like you're the CEO of CBS. Stop it. You don't care about that one bit. He may care about Tiger Woods and family. I get that. Here's what I do know. If you're Tiger Woods, you know what you should do with some of those when he's with, what was it, John Daly, where they're riding in hard, the car flipped. Oh, what do you think John Daly's doing? Probably laughing.
Laughing his ass off.
Yes, because John Daly has some fun. He'll smoke a grit, drop it down, hit a ball to 2 feet, pick his grit up, drink a Pepsi, and keep, or a Diet Coke, whatever he drinks, and keep it moving. Listen, at some point in time, from the man does have kids, didn't know already what's gone on. I'm sure he said it. The man has a real family, no doubt about it. And those of us who've been through vicious attacks or have said something stupid to somebody else, yes, we all do it. But AI, we're in a new world, man. You rob Peter, you pay Paul. Do I hope Tiger Woods gets healthy? I do. Do I think he's humiliated and embarrassed? I do. And sometimes the greatest thing for you is to be humiliated and embarrassed to scare you straight. So while I get what Jay's saying, do I think we could be more compassionate at times? Yes. But this is self-inflicted addiction that Tiger's going through. And sometimes when you sit back and say, you know what, that's funny.
We played one on the show.
Right. It's funny, but you're not. And I think that sometimes a little humor, I'll never forget what my dad said my brother did to my dad. We were all in hospice. So the reason, I just try to relatable stories. My family's way to deal with death and inevitable or stuff that was like what needed compassion, but quite frankly, you got past compassion and you need side of a swift kick. It's okay to laugh at yourself. Yeah. My family has always been like that. Laugh, have compassion, but if you can't laugh at yourself, because the more you beat it down, the more people beat you down.
Yeah.
My older brother, who loves to make people laugh, and he's always the funniest cat in the room. My dad, we're all in hospice, whole family sitting around. He says, Dad, you know what? Why wait another week? He took a pillow and took it up to his face like he was suffocating him.
Yeah.
And my dad, he's going through, he's got drugs in his system. He pulled it off, and we were crying with emotion, but crying, laughing. My old man was laughing his ass off.
Yeah.
30 minutes later, you know what my brother's doing? My dad never had a pedicure in his life. My brother is clipping my dad's nails and giving him a pedicure, which there's the compassion side, would make you cry. But my dad's doing it. And I said, hey, Kurt, why don't you dig in there and get that hangnail that's down? Yeah. Just to laugh. That's how we dealt with it. So I think Jay Williams is more bothered by Tiger. Tiger's embarrassed. Tiger will come back, and we'll say, and he'll hopefully beat this rehab. He's made some comebacks in his life, so it's okay. Nobody got hurt. Everything's fine. And maybe did he call Tiger and find out if Tiger thinks this is okay? Listen, when you do something multiple times and haven't learned your lesson, people will make fun of you. And that's what makes great comedians. They hit the hardest in the most sensitive places.
Exactly.
And Tiger Woods, listen, one day Tiger Woods is going to have a roast. There's going to be a roast about him one day, I'm sure. And he's going to be crying, laughing at some of these things, and they'll use this. So this is a little bit overboard, and he got what he wanted for us to be talking about. Save the PGA CBS footage, the outrage, stop it. It's AI. We all been through it. We all get dogged. And you know what? Sometimes a little humor is what helps the guy get through his rehab, as opposed to, yes, he's got kids. Those kids have seen this, and he sat down with Charlie and the rest of his family and talked them through it. He needs them. And you know what? If you can't laugh at certain things, then you know what? Maybe you're in the wrong business. And listen, this stuff in one ear and out the other when it comes to this.
Honestly, when I saw this and I sent it to our group chat,
did you think it was fake?
I probably wouldn't have sent it if it didn't have the stolen PGA and CBS footage line in there. I probably would have just been like, "Oh, you're fucking stupid. Just move on." But
like
adding that
like he's part of Congress trying to, we got to fix the
platforms need to take it down.
CBS is a big boy. They can handle them damn self.
Yeah, we need to get the Senate involved. We need to get,
I laughed my ass off.
Somebody
if we can get John Daly on for an interview, I'm going to say, John, do you have a problem with it? And he's going to laugh. John's been through, we've all hit our bottom, man. Whatever that is, if you haven't, you will. People are going to die in your family. You're going to do something stupid. Trust me, I know how to raise my hand at that. At some point in time, we're all going to get made fun of. And if you can't do that, Tiger Woods, I think, gets it. And if you were looking for a man to make another comeback, guy knows how to do that. And this may be, and it will be, the biggest comeback that he's ever conquered in his life in Tiger Woods' world. So let's have a little laugh once in a while. Nobody got hurt.
To be honest, it was also just the timing right before the Masters, the biggest tournament of them all, the biggest weekend in golf. Of course, when more people are watching golf than ever in terms of that year, it's always the Masters. This happens right before. Of course, you're going to get all these videos.
Right. And Segs, do you think, honestly, that this AI, the stuff in AI, that it's impacting Tiger Woods' kids and family? This is probably a wake-up call for Tiger Woods, who you can tell he loves his kids. You can tell it's important to him. Have the satisfaction he gets out of watching Charlie smoke the ball, make a hole in one, all those things. But I would imagine his goal is to make a better him, so he is a better dad. Because listen, I know when you're on some of these painkillers, you're not a great dad. You're not a better man. When you are a better man, as you get off it and conquer it, and guess what the kids will say? They'll go back and probably laugh with Tiger, say, "Dad, did you ever see this? Yeah, I saw it. Man, I'm better for it now. Don't do what I did." There's messages to be learned. PGA and CBS footage. Oh my gosh. There's fake outrage, and then there's fake outrage, and this is at the top of today's list.
Yeah, it's just, and this is Jay Williams, who's done some dumb things in his life, including cost himself an NBA career because he was trying to race a motorcycle, race on a motorcycle, and crashed and ruined his NBA career.
I got news for Jay Williams, and I hate to say it, that if that would have happened at this time of his life, he'd have been on AI too, and somebody would have made fun of it because he didn't die. And even if it cost a guy a career, trust me, I know it's harsh, and we need more compassion on social media. I get it, but people are going to create this. And the fact is, you know how you get rid of it quickly? You laugh at it and say, "Yeah, that sucked. I'm not riding a motorcycle anymore." But yes, it hits hard. But those of us who've had our career suffer for a stupid mistake understand that the best way to overcome it is have a little humor, but also understand your stupidity and try to make yourself better. And that's what Tiger Woods will do, and I fully believe that. There you go.
All right, that'll do it for Unpaved. Tomorrow we'll be back. I got 5 NFL draft questions for Sean that we'll talk about. Baseball. I want a topic that I think we should talk about in baseball. Is it time for Mike Trout to ask for a trade from the Los Angeles Angels? I think we're coming up on that. Yeah. So, I think, and then a couple other.
Was he 36 now, Segs? Is he in his mid-30s already?
Something.
Think about that. Is he in his mid-30s? And dude, if he stays healthy, I told you,
I mean,
this is one of those things. He's Trout's, if he stays healthy, he's going to be in the MVP talk all year long.
Yeah.
But we've seen him in 2 playoff games.
2.
And he's never won one. 2. And he never got one with the Ohtani. 2. When people say, well, he deserves to win a World Series. No, you deserve to win a World Series when you win one. Would you like an opportunity to have a better chance at it? Absolutely. Great topic. And you know what? Even though it's the time of year where Aaron Rodgers becomes a hot topic. Why, Sigs? Pittsburgh's got to think about the future. Who is Aaron Rodgers and what kind of game does he have? And do the Steelers know he's coming back? And we're there again. When are we going to know? Because if I'm the Steelers, at some point in time, you got to make a decision. Are we drafting a quarterback? Is Will Howard the future? Is Aaron Rodgers our starter this year? Another topic to discuss, because this is kind of Aaron Rodgers. Well, it's Aaron Rodgers time to discuss what he's going to do again.
Yep. All right, get over to YouTube, like and subscribe at Unpaved. Sean Salisbury, same thing for Rumble. Follow Sean at Sean Unfiltered, myself at Adam G. Sager. Thanks to Bailey, Laura, all our viewers, commenters, and listeners. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. We'll talk.
And tell your friends to like and subscribe and come in and see something that I think we give you some pretty damn good stuff. And and if that's called begging, you're damn right. I'm not too proud to beg. Look forward to tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Yep. We'll talk to you later. Peace.
Unpaved, Sean Salisbury here. We're bringing authentic, real stuff to you. Hardcore opinion.
Sean Salisbury, a great NFL analyst, a former NFL quarterback.